With all the BlazBlue content on YouTube, there's one thing that I don't really see on the platform, and that's talking about the plot itself. I mean, there are videos that talk about the plot, the very few there are, including I made some lore videos that I really just gave up on. But the thing about it is, like, I hardly see anything on YouTube talking about the actual story of the game itself. Like, there's actually, about 2 videos that talk about the story, try to explain some parts of it, about the beginning and the end. I do credit that guy, because he actually does, actually cared enough to make it. There's also another video talking about the story and how convoluted it is, but other than that, there's not really anything on YouTube about the actual plot of BlazBlue itself. Like, it's funny to me. Like, the game's been out since about 2009, 2008, if you want to go back way back in Japan. So it's been out for a good 10 years. 10-year anniversary was just last year, and no one talks about it. Like, no one talks about the story. And that, I mean, there's like websites like Reddit, Dustloop, there's like social media sites like Facebook, Twitter, what have you. But on YouTube itself, there's really nothing. And I kind of want to talk about that today. I really want to know why no one actually talks about the story of BlazBlue. I mean, no one ever makes videos on it, no one ever has a discussion about, hey, this character does whatever, or this story point, blah, blah, blah. And I feel like I want to be able to talk about it because no one ever talks about it. So, here we go. First of all, let's talk about the scale of the story. By scale, I mean how much is there to the story and how spread around it is across different media. I guess I could count it like Kingdom Hearts, how Kingdom Hearts used to be on nearly every console, phone, browser under the sun, and before they made it all mainline, just for one system. BlazBlue Story is like that. You guys spread from light novels, you guys spread through manga in the form of variable heart. You got the games themselves and their constant extend versions that add more to the story. So I can kind of understand why no one, brings up talking about it, because it's a lot to absorb, and it's a lot to take in. I guess another thing I could talk about is, like, considering the fact that the scale is so large, I guess I could talk about why, or how many people are actually interested in the story. Now, BlazBlue is a fighting game first and foremost. I can understand that. And a bunch of people just say, okay, we're just gonna play the fighting game aspect of it. And while I obviously do that, I wouldn't be playing if it wasn't a good fighting game. I want to know, like, why does no one really talk about the story on YouTube? And I want to bring that up, be like, wait a minute, I mean, there's a lot of story, you figured people would be talking about it. Well, BlazBlue is a very, I guess I could call it a niche fighting game. I mean, it's a known fighting game, it's just not super mega well known. And because of that, people more talk about the story, talk about the fighting game aspect than the actual story of it. And I could completely understand that. People are more interested in the fighting game aspect. I obviously wouldn't play if it wasn't a fighting game, but I'm more interested in the story than the actual fighting game bits of it. And I like the characters. The characters make the convoluted and insanely story for me. They make it for me, especially the English dub, which I am depressed to know that we'll never get again, but that's a different story for another time. But as for the story bits, it's just so much to take in. I mean, if you want to know a background character, you gotta literally look in between the lines, read a bunch of stuff about it. BlazBlue Story is not hard to understand. It's just, it's not complicated. It's convoluted and spread around different media that I can't blame you if you don't know who Celica is without reading the light novels. Or I can't blame if you don't know who Mai is if you haven't read the Variable Heart manga, which is actually more accessible, or who Naoto Kurogane is because he has his own light novels as well, which it's even worse to the point where most of those aren't even translated. The manga is translated. I don't know officially. I know there's fan translations, but the light novels have to be fan translated, and they're not even available outside of Japan, which really hurts some of the characters that Mori decides to put in. Oh, you want to put in a character from a light novel? Well, here's Naoto, Celica. I can't count S. I can't count S because she is from X-Blaze, which is actually localized and you can buy. Although I can't blame someone for not wanting to play X-Blaze because it is a very long visual novel with no gameplay in between, so can't blame you on that front. And I can't blame you for not actually going your way to look up the light novels, Bloodedge Experience for Naruto, and the Phase Shift novels for Celica. I can't blame you. Really can't blame you. I know there's some people out there actually invested within the plot of BlazBlue, but I usually like to scroll through like character discussions of things, instead of like the fighting game aspect. I know there's a story attached to BlazBlue and no one really talks about it. I like to say, hey, do you think about this character outside of that fighting game aspect, like personality-wise, information-wise, like the type of videos that like have a character and like their stats of like, hey, this is their height, weight, this is their personality, blah blah blah, this, blah blah blah, that. And I don't really get that. Like, I could do it, but I don't have the necessary equipment or the time to actually make those kind of videos. And if it could be done, I would have done it already. But I kind of suck right now, and I don't have the tools and other stuff to make these kinds of videos. So I wonder if other people would too. There are videos out there, well, the limited there are videos out there that actually talk about the plot, either comedical or, the very 3 information-wise videos, and there's my BlazBlue Lore videos. And I like to talk about the BlazBlue Lore because people can actually get into it and know, oh, this is what this means. Though I usually don't have the concrete evidence about, hey, this weapon means blah 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 this, but I don't have the context for it, other than just, hey, this weapon was used here, or what have you. But yeah, no one ever talks about the story, and that gets me kind of sad though. I mean, the series has been out for 10 years, and there's hardly any videos or any really large discussions about the story itself. And I can understand, it's a fighting game, no one really cares about the story. Not many people really care about the story, but I do. And I do feel kind of sad that BlazBlue's been out this long and barely anyone talks about it. And I kind of want to change that. I hope someone sees this and actually, hey, we can actually talk about the story or have discussions or something. I can't really have discussions because A, I don't really know anyone that actually talk about the story with me, and B, I'm usually spending my time on Reddit talking about the story, but it doesn't really pull anyone through. Dustloop has been, I don't know if Dustloop's dead. I really don't know if Dustloop's dead because I never really checked it in a long time. And since anything in BlazBlue hasn't been talked about in a while. I mean, the only thing that's been talked about recently was Cross Tag Battle, and that really doesn't count for this discussion, to be honest. It doesn't count, but no one really talks about, hey, Calamity Trigger, Continuum Shift, Chronophantasma, Central Fiction, yada yada yada. This is what event that happens, or theories, or whatever. No one really makes those kind of videos, and it's upsetting to me. Like, I feel really upset talking about it because I love this series. I love the story to it. I mean, hell, I probably wouldn't be playing, like, I like playing fighting games, I'm not gonna lie. I play fighting games knowing I suck at it, but I probably wouldn't be as half as invested into BlazBlue if it wasn't for the characters and the story itself. Well, just the music and just the music and the gameplay itself, but that can only grab me for so far. So, yeah, it's kind of sad that no one ever actually talks about the plot of the story. And as convoluted as it may be, I feel like because of its nature, it brings about, hey, people can make a bunch of theories about how this character relates to this character, how this plot point can happen in this here. Like, and funny enough, Central Fiction, well, not Central Fiction, BlazBlue's story as a whole isn't over yet, because from Calamity Trigger to Chronophantasma, it's only Ragna's story, or as it's known as the CSeries. So the story's gonna keep going. Hell, there's even a mobile game coming out with knowing Mori is gonna most likely be canon, and I oh Lord, save me now. The main point of this video is to try to at least reach someone, any fans of BlazBlue, any people who want to make discussions. Although I feel like since it's been 10 years already, I feel like the waiting time for that is about over. I mean, hell, if anyone wanted to make discussion videos or lore videos, which I used to do, or anything related to BlazBlue outside the fighting games, fighting game aspect, people would have done it already. It's been 10 years already, and I feel like it's a little too late, and I could completely understand that. I feel like if I started making videos, it would fall on deaf ears, and as much as I like making videos, I mean, if I can't reach anyone, it kind of defeats the purpose of it. Well, at least the discussion videos. Video game videos I make, I just make those for pure fun and spectacle, but I want to at least reach someone, but it's been 10 years, and most discussions are relegated to, like, you know, internet forums and social media. So hell, if anyone wanted to make videos about BlazBlue, they would have done it already. Or any more lore, any more discussion videos or whatever, they would have done it already. It would have been just done already. But I may make more of these type of videos in the future, talk about, you know, BlazBlue as a whole. More story stuff. I might do this, because I've been wanting to do this for a while now, but because I don't have the necessary tools or actually good, you know, technology to actually do these kind of things, I've been putting it on the back burner. I do make, like, meme videos. I used to make those lore videos. I do make discussion videos about, like, I made one, like, a while back about the wiki itself and how, like, you know, the lore, like how the terms and stuff work on the older wiki compared to the newer one. And those videos did add relatively well. I did grab some people, and some people actually did enjoy it. And I hope that I can make more discussion videos, because I'm actually heavily invested into the story. I am so deep into BlazBlue, it's not even funny, and it's kind of sad how deep I am into it, knowing how crazy it is. But I do like it. It keeps me interested. The characters keep me interested. The dub used to, because it used to be there and now it's gone. But the point is, I like the series, and I like the story. I like the however convoluted and crazy it may be. I love the story just for how convoluted and crazy it is, and how the characters are just cool in general. I hope more people talk about this. I hope more people, you know, bring up the, you know, story about BlazBlue, but I'm not holding out anything for it. It's been so long that, and some people have been like long-time BlazBlue fans. It's been so long that I feel like it's just maybe a little too late. But hopefully I reach somebody. Hopefully I actually listen to my own words and actually do something about it. So I guess it's a good time to end the video here. BlazBlue fans out there, I hope that I can reach you somehow, or at the very least, you know, at least talk to me about it. Hell, let's have discussions, man. I've been meaning to actually start a BlazBlue thread, you know, like all on my own, like actually talk about, hey, you know, how's Ragna, you know, well, I'm not gonna get into spoiler territory for people who haven't played till the end of BlazBlue, but how this character is going to do whatever, or what's going to happen to this character after the series ends, or what's going to happen to these characters after the story keeps going, or whatever Toshimichi Mori has up his sleeve. I want to talk about that. And I hope I at least reached someone. Someone out there, I hope at least my words got into someone. And that's about it for this video. I will see you all next time. Goodbye, everybody, and I hope you stay strong.